one relapse led to another, and then yeah, it's like one like little thing happens into my life, and then I just let it fall apart, I guess, in a sense. But what you're saying is, yeah, just to accept that these things are gonna happen, and it's okay for the door to be a little open.
Mm. You have to be okay with some of the bad parts of life, because if you try and like protect yourself too much from that, from making mistakes, from failures, then and the bad habits, then you end up. It's very chaotic. You end up like revolting against your goals every now and then because you just can't handle
Yeah,
it anymore. You've tried to. You've been pushing this door closed for so long, past the point that it's supposed to really be at this point. You're pushing, you're pushing, pushing. Eventually, you get tired, and then now it's going to swing open this way. But
yeah,
but you could literally keep it like reasonably closed. You've got the strength
yeah.
for that to understand that yeah, some shit's going to come in right now, which is natural about life. As long as you're on that upward trajectory, like let me think. Okay, if you ate junk food once every 2 months, and I don't know, you fat like once every 6 months or something, so insignificant, right? At that point, you're pretty much close to like the ideal life in terms of those areas, right? Obviously, like 0 times would be better, but like at that point, it's so like infrequent that it pretty much okay. You're at 10 out of 10, amazing, fantastic, right? Well, if that's like the lifelong goal, why do you have to be there just right now? Why can't it take you
Mm,
a year to get to the point where like you don't fap at all? Because this is what a lot of young guys struggle with on nofap, and I don't think like the nofap YouTubers really do justice here. But they act as if you should be on like nofap, like never fap, straight away, which I think is BS. It took me about 4 or 5 years to get to the point. Now, if I could go back in time, I'll tell my younger self, okay, get to the point where at 1 year from now you're never gonna fap again, and I'll like see the build up for that. Where it's like, okay, well, let's say next January I'm never gonna fap again, right? So in December I might fap like once. So in November I might do it 2 times. In October it might be 4 times. And suddenly you start to think, okay, well then that working backwards means that this month it could be 15 times, which sounds crazy. No fap YouTuber would ever say that to you. But if it's 15 times this month, and then it's 10 times the next month, and then it's 8 times the next month, and you allow yourself to be patient with the progress, suddenly it's like, that's actually a reasonable goal. What you're trying to do right now is bench press 100 kg, but you can't even bench 80. You keep injuring yourself every 2 weeks. How about we just
yeah,
get you to bench like 70 right now, then 71, then 72.5, then 75, and slowly build it up.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I just try to do too much at once, and that's detrimental. I think. Oh, sorry.
To go.
1 second. Okay. I'm using my computer as like a light on what it is, so I just turned off. One thing I think Dennis just mentioned about like self-identity. Um, about I think you used the rubber band analogy about like this is how you view yourself, and this you trying to be, you're trying to pull back. Eventually, just gonna snap back to who you actually are. That is like really good advice, right? How do you like and I've seen it work. I've seen it work so well. Like I'll get the urge to do fap, right? And then I'll just tell myself, no, I'm a disciplined, masculine man. I don't. That's not something that I do. That's not what I do, and it works, right? It works. But then this is like a true story. It worked for like I think it was like a couple of weeks or so, right? And then this morning I woke up and I had a dream of this like 10 beautiful girl, and then I just woke up and then I had zero self control over myself, and I didn't implement those like affirmations, or is what do you call it? And I just like relapsed. So the affirmations things, it seems to work for me, but how, how do I make it? How do I be more consistent with it?
Hmm. I wouldn't even say that was a problem with the affirmations. Do you meditate?
Um, I'll be honest. I meditated for about a week and a half.
think that could help. Especially what you've just described is like you woke up and didn't even feel like you made a conscious decision to
Yeah,
fap and stuff. Sometimes it feels like it just
yeah,
happens before you know it. That's
yeah.
meditation will help counter that. It helps you
Mm,
make more conscious decisions in life. It helps you like kind of activate this space where you actually weigh up your decisions. So when someone like
mm,
everyone enters this space here where they say, okay, I'm getting the craving to do this thing, should I do it? Everyone enters this, but people who are very like mindless, people who don't meditate, people who've just naturally genetically got like a bad brain for this, people who have destroyed their brain through like social media and porn, whatever, their space is like this. They get the craving, and within like a
mm.
split second before they've realized, yep, they've already decided to do it, they're jacking off now. The more you meditate, the
Yeah.
longer the space is, the longer that you get to debate this decision, and inside of it, you get to say to yourself, like, actually, no, it doesn't align with my goals, so I'm not going to do that.
Okay. Meditation. Yeah, I think I watched like a video of yours, like how to destroy your lizard brain or something like that. I think when you spoke about that, it's like the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex. Yeah. So you're saying with meditation, the it just like increases like your strengthens your PFC or whatever,
Mm.
maybe. Yeah. That makes sense. So I wanna like get like a little takeaway from this. So basically, it's okay for the door to be a little open. You don't have to indulge in all the instant gratification as soon as there's a little crack in the door. Um, what else was there?
Mm.
Like the gap thing you were saying.
I will just say
Like
to
as
that
long as
point
I'm
you've mentioned then, the door being open, just remember, because we don't want to use this as a cope. A lot of guys might hear that and then again they're going to start saying them to themselves like, oh, so I can't take a bit of drugs then. I can play video games every day then. We need to be okay with like not being strong enough to push the door fully closed. But that doesn't mean that we should be okay with having it open to such a significant amount where it's then taking up like an hour of our day or even more. Does that make sense? So unless
okay.
if you're like a total Jeffrey and an hour of your day is like huge progress. But it's more that, you're closing it and you're expecting, your goals to close it fully. But you understand that right now you don't really deserve to be able to close it fully because you're not strong enough. Because you've only been doing this stuff for 5 to barely 10% of your life. Once you understand that and you realize, okay, you can push it as far as you deserve, and naturally that means that you can't go 100%, 100% like 0% bad habits right now. There's gonna be some because you deserve to have those bad habits creep in because it's their habits, their addictions.
Yeah.
And when they do happen, you think to
Yeah.
yourself, okay, this was bound to happen anyway. I may as well at least just enjoy it. When you don't allow yourself to
Mm,
enjoy those things, that's when it gets worse, because then it's like you still need some sense of joy and fulfillment from that thing. That's the reason why you did it. But like this is, for example, the fat person will eventually cave and eat the junk food, but they'll do it whilst they hate themselves, and so then they need to eat more. What I always say is, like, when someone used to be overweight, they'd want my coaching. I'd say to them, we're gonna make progress, but it's not gonna be as fast as you think it is, because this isn't some like BS, some diet fad or anything. But there's a rule that you're gonna have. You're gonna binge eat again. You're gonna eat shit food again. There's one rule which I want you to follow. When you're doing that, enjoy it. If you're packing on the calories anyway, you may as well get some satisfaction. You may as well like not hate yourself and mindlessly watch something. Literally just eat it and like actually like taste it and feel it and like enjoy, like, because at least with that you get the satisfaction and you feel satisfied. So it's like
yeah.
you relapse fine, but you enjoyed it, and then you move on with your life. When you hate yourself for it as you're doing it and you're getting like the intra nut clarity, like it doesn't even like the negative thoughts don't even wait till after you finish it. As you're doing it, you
Yeah.
feel like a piece of shit. At that point, it's like you're more likely to go for a second round because you still feel bad. But if you say to yourself, like, okay, straight after this one round, like, it's gonna feel nice, and after that I'm gonna move on with my life, you'll be more likely to just take the L with a little bit of the door being open, get some kind of
Mm,
satisfaction that you wanted. You wanted like some relief, some tension, some feelings of fulfillment, whatever it is that you actually really craved, and you've got it. Okay, back to your normal life, back to the schedule.
yeah. You mentioned to not cut out 100% of bad habits. I think I from one of the videos I saw, you said that when you moved back into your parents' house, you completely cut out your bad habits, and um, it was just like you went straight to that dopamine detox. I think that's where I got the idea. I was like, just like I expected myself to just completely cut out my bad habits. She's like, because if you can do it, I feel like I can do it. But maybe I'm just not as strong as you were. So I think my, I guess, new plan of attack should be just to slowly reduce the bad habits. Yeah. Okay.
I didn't, at the time when I made those videos, and when I think back to that time, I didn't really have the mindset and the understanding totally right. I moved back, and yeah, 100% bad habits were literally just gone. But you've got to bear in mind that I hated my life. I had nothing to lose, and I had been waiting to move back and start my life for over a year. So it was like I had a lot riding on this. And suddenly also it was the perfect environment. COVID's there. I had no friends. I didn't have a girl. I literally had nothing to do other than work. And I came back with this mind, this new environment. And so it was a very lucky situation to be in with that. I still think that the goal of 100% cutting out the bad stuff is good. And I still think it's hard for me to explain it because it's not as it seems in my mind. It's like in my calendar, there's nothing bad. But if my girl brings something she's baked for me, I'm going to eat it. Does that make sense? So it's like I don't plan to be a Jeffrey.
You didn't plan it.
That's it. Yeah. I didn't plan to be a Jeffrey, but if I don't even take holidays. If I took a holiday, I'm probably still going to eat healthy and go to the gym and everything. I'm not going to just go take a holiday and fap or something. But if I go to some random cafe, which I do every now and then or something, I wouldn't even go to some random one here in my hometown. But if I'm traveling somewhere, I'm going to the airport and I can get a coffee there, and the coffee's probably got 10 grams of sugar in it, it's I'm gonna have it. If it's in your schedule, if you're planning it, if you already know at 7 p.m. I play video games, that's when it fucks you up. If it's not planned,
it shouldn't be a habit.
That's it. It shouldn't be a habit. It should be more like a spontaneous treat.
Okay.